Hey there, it's your girl Barbie J here, and I'm back with another one of Tyler Perry's comedy dramas. This one is Sistas, Season 5, Episode 10. Discretion is key. So, who was trying to be discreet? Who was it? I don't even get that title now that I think about it. But anyway, I'm sorry. I want to apologize for putting up this video late, but y'all not going to believe this, but yet again, another death of somebody very close to me in like the last 2 months. It's just like crazy for me. And it threw off my entire Wednesday when I found this out yesterday. So please forgive me for this delay. But you know, that's my three. They said it comes in threes. My pastor, my cousin, and my friend. That's it. So anyway, let's get going with this episode. I thought it was a pretty good episode. And you know, it starts off with Danny in a room with Sabrina, and she's discussing, you know, what she learned about Maurice being on tape, saying that it was his and Sabrina's idea to rob that bank. But they never told her that it was Q who was this informant who provided Logan with the tape. They never shared that, and I have no idea why, because she might be able to give them some insight on what she, I don't know, but I feel like Sabrina might be able to give some insight of things she said to Maurice about Q, you know what I mean? But maybe she could save all that information for her actual, attorney, not her divorce lawyer friend. Anyway, Sabrina is very upset, and Danny's trying to keep her calm and positive. Then Danny tells Sabrina that Calvin is going to put up $20,000 towards her bail. And all of a sudden, Andy comes rushing in, and she's rushing Danny out of the room. And Danny's like, wait. But that DA or prosecutor, whatever he is behind her. And remember, he told her that she better, he would have them arrested for impersonating. So that's why she was hurrying up, getting, Danny out of there. So that was that scene. Next, we have Karen and Aaron eating at the dinner table, talking about him being a good cook, her going through his cell phone, and her wondering why he's so patient and how he made her mad with the stunt he pulled at the hospital. Then she asks if he still plays ball at the court with Zach. Don't know why that came out of her head, but it did. So she also shared that she's going to the doctor to follow up with the ultrasound and to get a better idea of the date of conception to help figure out who may be her baby's daddy. But then, you know how Aaron is. He makes one of his little annoying comments to her by saying, "Oh, you're waiting for them to tell you that's my baby?" And she's like, okay, Aaron, chill for now. but she knows that when he does things like that, I knew it. She would get annoyed a little bit. But anyway, she asks, what if it's not his baby? And he's like, I'm not going anywhere. And she's saying she don't know any man who would love a baby that's not theirs in these circumstances. And Aaron said, I've done it before. And we know he did, because his last wife had children that weren't his. That's why he was able to let them go and haven't called and checked on them. Little Mr. Preacher Man, you still should be checking on them if they were calling you daddy at some point. You know what I mean? Anyway, I'm sorry about y'all. I had to go off on a little tangent there. So then Miss Lisa calls and she starts bothering Karen. I said, there she go. Because Aaron said, oh, your mother just texted me, let me know she calling. I said, ain't this so silly? This is so silly, really. That is your daughter. Why you calling that man with her to tell him that you're going to anyway, it's not making sense to me. So then we have Andy in her car telling Danny why she thinks they're going to have a problem getting Sabrina out because of that prosecutor who is holding a grudge. So Danny asks if Andy will get in, to see Maurice, and if she has called Robin, and she tells her that he's being an asshole to her. And Danny is not understanding how she is feeling about this. But she tells Andy it's not about her, and that she don't care if she has to F him or suck him, but she gotta do something. So at first I took offense of Danny suggesting that. But then I was like, I started thinking this. I said, Barbie J, isn't that what Andy has been doing anyways? Right? She thanked Robin nicely for freeing Fatima and Zach, didn't she? And now she's trying to keep Gary calm by using those same measures. So I shouldn't take offense, should I? Y'all let me know. Am I wrong or right? Come on now. Y'all let me know here. But then, you know, Andy has to keep reminding her that this is a federal crime and how things are run differently when it's like that. So then Danny gets all worked up that she needs to stop and get some weed. And Andy's like, we are not stopping to get weed. We're not going to a facility to get weed. She said, did you freaking say a facility like you're uppity, you know? Then she decides to eat them. I guess those gummies are weed gummies or something. They got something in them. She started eating those instead. I said, oh my God, Danny is a trip. So now we have Zach coming home and being told by Fatima that he's going to have some legal troubles. She tells him that she saw Heather at her law firm and that she is hired Hayden to sue him for child support. I said, oh my God. But then she mentions that the DNA report says that Zach is the father of Heather's baby, and she mentions that they are engaged. Those two things that she mentioned, we have not seen or even heard mentioned on Sisters. Have we? Y'all let me know. So if Fatima is on a different or alternate universe, as they keep trying to tell us and make us believe, or whatever they're saying or wanting us to believe, how come we didn't see these things play out on each show separately? Even if he had to put the same scene into Sisters, we should have seen an engagement on Sisters, especially since that's where it started. Or we should have saw that DNA done on there. They could have had that man come back, you know, when Zach got arrested and showed us a DNA or something. This is making no sense, and I don't like this because it's very, very confusing to me. Honestly, it really is. And if this is supposed to be a spinoff from another show, then they should really have it flow concurrently, don't you think? I mean, let me know if I'm wrong, y'all. Let me know down there in the comment section. And Zach is feeling bad about how he is looking in Fatima's eyes. He doesn't want to be a broke joker with all these baby mothers, as he said. And she's understanding, but lets him know that she is not cool with all of this. Then she tells him that in the state of Georgia, his debt becomes hers and hers becomes his, and that they shouldn't rush a wedding. And he replies that we haven't even been talking about a wedding, babe. What's up with that? So all of this is ridiculousness to me. so then Fatima says she's been trying to spare Hayden's behind, and Zach is like, why? By not telling your cousin. And he's like, what's up with her? And she's like, yeah. And she reminds him that, you know, he's got her and that she's riding with him through all of his drama. And he was like, man, I'm like the luckiest man in the world to get you. So then we have Danny and Andy arriving at Karen's home. So Aaron leaves. Danny opens up her big mouth and tells Karen that Sabrina's in jail, against Andy's advice, of course, because she didn't want Karen to get worried or cause her any stress because she's pregnant. So they give her all the details, and of course Karen starts questioning Andy about what she going to do and telling her she needs to do something, basically ignoring her as Danny was doing. You know, Karen was doing the same thing. So then Karen mentions what Sabrina had already, you know, said, which is don't tell her mama. So they ask Karen, what is it that they wanted to talk, what does she want to talk to them about? And she tells them, you know, she's upset that the sister circle is not complete. They're like, yeah, well, you can't do nothing about that. What's the deal? You know, so she tells them about the doctor's appointment that she made and that she wants both Andy and Danny to come with her. Danny can't believe that Karen wants her to go as well, you know, because she might be afraid that Danny might open her mouth and say something. But Karen tells her she really does, and she wouldn't have said it if she didn't mean it. Then Karen said that the exercise that her mama had her do with those letters worked by getting it all out and speaking her truth. You know, I was like, girl, please. And as Aunt Danny called her a bunch of psychobabble or whatever. But then Andy's phone rings and it's Robin. And Andy doesn't want to answer, but they convince her to. When she does, Robin tells her that he can help her friend. And Andy asks how. And he says he's putting in some calls. And he asks, is she sure that Sabrina wasn't involved? And she tells him 100%. Now, I have to take a moment here. Now, didn't I tell y'all that Robin was going to try to get back in Andy's good graces by helping Sabrina? Didn't I say that? Y'all can listen to two of my videos. I said it in. I knew that's what he was going to do. That's the only thing that was going to work. So, but not that it has worked yet. Because, so he apologized again and asked how he can make it up to her. And Andy said, you can't. Robin's like, can't you give me, I'm going to help your friend. And Andy was like, I don't give a bleep, 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 bleep. So Robin said he'll keep trying. And Andy said, just help my friend. Then Gary calls and asks to come over and see her. And she tells him okay, and to be in her bed naked waiting for her, and that she'll have the concierge let him up. I said, okay, nasty girl. You nasty girl. So then, so now we see Gary, Aaron, and Zach at the basketball court. Gary's telling Aaron bye because he's leaving because he got a date. Aaron is trying to be cool with Zach, who tells Aaron he comes to the b-ball court to relax and wants no stress. And he doesn't want Aaron on his team. And Aaron's like, oh, come on, man. Then Hayden walks up and says, well, I definitely don't want you on my team. And he's talking to Zach, of course. And Zach is like, oh, man, like, what the hell? Why you here? And he decides to leave because he doesn't want to go to jail for whooping Hayden's behind again. Because that Hayden is being annoying, telling Zach he better get a real good lawyer because he picked the wrong one this time, messing with Heather. And Zach asks, what is wrong with you, man? And Hayden says he don't like niggas like you out here breaking the law. I said, what? Who breaking the law? Hayden probably breaking so many laws, it's unreal. And I think Gary had even called him on that, saying, dude, really? So Zach says, oh, so you're a Karen. And Hayden's like, what? And Zach said, a Karen. Then all of a sudden, Aaron comes over and said, what'd you say about Karen? I said, oh my God, why you in their damn business, Aaron? And so Zach says the same thing. Zach is like, he looking at him, turned around and said, nobody's talking to you, bro. And then Zach walks up to Hayden and said, F you. And then they get into a back and forth because Hayden said, you're going to jail. And then Aaron steps in between them. And Zach is like, don't touch me. And then Hayden is like, I don't even know you like that, bro. Get out of my face. And he's talking to Aaron with that. I said, oh, God. And I was like, this is too much right here. So Hayden walks away. And then Aaron starts with I'm not your enemy, Zach. Can't we just be cool? And Zach is like, I don't want to be cool with you, and I don't want you to be cool with me. Then he admits that he doesn't like him and wishes that he'd stop talking and stop trying to be nice to him. Because every time Aaron is nice to him, he starts liking him a little more. And he said, I don't want to like you a little more. So please leave me alone. And Zach walks away, and I was laughing. And Aaron is looking at him like, one day you're going to let that love in, Zach. And Zach runs right away to his car screaming, ah! So then we see Andy. She walks back into Karen's apartment and she sees that Danny has been telling her business about her using Gary. So Karen wants details and Andy don't really want to tell it. So she flips things and starts telling Karen what just happened to Danny having a hot girl summer. And Karen's like, what? And she tells how she brought home a stray who spat on her. And then Karen's like, what? So then Danny had to sit there and deal with it and wasn't, so happy that Andy started sharing that. And so Karen started with that's why I can't be away. Like, y'all need me to hold y'all together. So, and Andy's like, yes, you can't be away. So Danny said, look, I wanted to kill him. And Andy looked at her and said, you would have gotten life. And then, as we all knew Danny would do, we all knew she was going to slip up and open her damn big mouth. And she said, well, my girl Fatima said that. And Andy stopped her and was hitting her. And Karen said, your girl Fatima? Oh, so y'all friends now? And Danny was like, oh, shit, Karen, damn. Then she explained that, Fatima was present when she told Andy what happened. And Karen was like, oh, she's a lawyer now? And Andy's like, no, she's not. Oh, but y'all sister now? This is Karen saying it to Danny. And she said, Danny kept it real. She's like, hell, the chick's cool as ice water. And she kept it really real by stating that if Fatima wasn't with Zach, she would probably be in our sister circle right now, sitting right here. And Andy said, well, I don't disagree with that. So Karen is sitting there saying that she's not upset about it, but they know better. And hell, we all know better too, that she is. Then she tells Andy, well, you better help Brina. And Andy tells her, I'm on it. And that Robin is going to help her with it. So that was cool. Then we see Andy dropped Danny off, and Danny walks up to her building, and she and Preston are out there talking. and they start discussing their present situationship. And he asked, where's her car? But she didn't tell him. Yeah, I know she wasn't. And she asked about the girl that he was going to ask to marry. And she asked, well, what's he going to do? And Preston said, it all depends on what you're going to do. And she says, it feels like, you're putting pressure on me. And he said that's not what he's trying to do. He asked her to help him know how to love her, not a woman. He know how to love a woman. He know how to do that. He's saying how to love Danny, the individual, and say the right things that Danny wants to hear. I was like, dang, I mean, if you got to go through all that work, that's kind of rough. And Danny is finally honest. She's finally and truly honest to him and to herself by saying she doesn't know what she wants. One day she wants to be with him and the next day she don't. One day she wants to be in love and the next day she wants to be alone. So I applaud her for keeping it real and honest, because we all know she don't. That girl is confused. So maybe she the one that don't know how to love. It might be her. Then she mentioned something about the hot girl summer, and Preston's like, you had me all the way up until you said that. He said, what's a hot girl summer? And she's like, you don't want to know. And he said he had to look it up in his Urban Dictionary. I said, he got an Urban Dictionary. I cracked up. And Danny said, I wouldn't do that if I was you. Then Preston grabs hold of her hands and asks, can he please go inside? And Danny lets him know that nothing's going to happen. And Preston's like, that's okay. And they walk into the building together, still holding hands. How lovey-dovey. Then Karen calls Pam to make sure that she locked up properly. And you hear a guy in the background saying that he turned everything off. Karen said, who is that? And Pam acts like it's no one. Karen said she better not be having sex on her desk again. So Karen said she was coming there, and Pam threatened to call her mama. And Pam said that she told that guy, come on, let's leave. And the camera pans over to a curling iron that's still plugged in that she forgot to turn off, or they forgot to turn off, whoever. So Karen is preparing to go there and check on her salon because she don't trust Pam to lock up. And Aaron's trying to take control and stops her from leaving and said he'll check, later after massaging her feet and her whole body. And Karen, I know she a bit annoyed because she wants to check on her business. That's her money maker. And then it ends with Andy walking into her penthouse saying, Gary, are you ready, baby? And he's like, yeah. And while he's sitting there, she goes on about to jump on top of him because she see he not undressed in her bed as she instructed him. So that's when Gary directs her attention over to the couch where Robin is sitting. And she's like, what the hell? And I'm sitting there going, what the hell? And we all going, what the hell? So anyway, that's how it ended. Y'all let me know what y'all thought about this episode. And those of you, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please take a moment now and hit that subscribe button and help my channel grow. I appreciate you all and I love you. Happy holidays, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.